All right, let's get right into it. It's a question you see everywhere, in movies, in books, and definitely in real life. Why are some younger women so drawn to older men? It's a whole social dynamic that usually gets boiled down to one or two simple things, but today, we're going to pull it apart and see what's really inside. So, what is the real story here? I mean, is it just about money and status, like the stereotype says? Or is there something, deeper going on? Something psychological that most of us just don't talk about?
Well, in this explainer, we're going to push right past all those tired old stereotypes. We're digging into what the source material says about the real psychological drivers, the qualities and behaviors that can forge a genuine, lasting connection.
And the very first step, well, it's about completely reframing how we look at age itself. Because instead of seeing it as some kind of disadvantage, we have to start seeing it for what it can be, a major, major asset. Now, what's so interesting here is how this whole idea flips a common fear on its head, right? So many people worry that getting older makes them less attractive, less in touch. But what the research suggests is that the exact opposite can be true. The experience that comes with age, that can be the very thing that makes someone so attractive. So what are we talking about here? What are these assets? Well, these are the kinds of qualities that are earned over time. We're talking about a confidence that isn't just talk, it's built on actually getting through things, an emotional stability that doesn't fly off the handle at every little bump in the road, a real sense of purpose, knowing who you are and where you're going, and of course, resilience, that ability to stay calm when things get tough. You just don't find that combination very often in younger guys. And this is the absolute core of it. On a really deep, fundamental level, all of those traits signal something incredibly powerful. Safety, security, trust. They build this foundation that makes someone feel like they can let their guard down, and that feeling is a huge, often subconscious part of what we find attractive. Okay, so having those qualities is one thing, but, knowing how to actually communicate them, that's a whole different ballgame. So let's move on and see how this actually builds a real emotional connection through specific actions. So here's the crucial thing to remember. Attraction isn't just a checklist of traits you have. No, it's an emotional experience. It really just boils down to how you make another person feel. And what are the big three? Feeling seen, feeling safe, and feeling understood. Age is just the thing that can help deliver that experience. And the source actually lays out 6 specific ways to build that emotional bridge. First up, meaningful eye contact. That shows confidence, it shows you're present. Then there's playful, witty humor, great for building rapport. Third, having authentic opinions. Not being afraid to respectfully disagree shows you've got your own mind. Then you've got respectful physical touch, like a simple touch on the arm, it builds closeness. Of course, being genuinely yourself is always magnetic. And finally, leading purposeful conversations. Asking real questions and then actually listening to the answers. All right, so all those techniques can definitely create that initial spark for sure. But what turns that spark into a lasting flame? Well, that brings us to our final and probably most important section, the foundation that holds it all together. And according to the source material, a real, durable bond always rests on 2 unshakable pillars. You gotta have both. The first is love, and not just passion, but a genuine care for the other person's happiness and well-being. And the second is respect, and that means truly valuing their mind, their feelings, and their personal boundaries. Without both of those, any connection is just, well, it's built on sand. And this quote right here, man, it just perfectly captures the entire philosophy. The goal isn't to try and act young or pretend you're something you're not. It's about embracing the wisdom, the stability, and the depth that a life full of experiences gives you. That's the real source of attraction. So, to wrap up and answer that first question we asked, when this dynamic really works, it's almost never about those surface-level stereotypes. It's an attraction to a type of security, emotional, mental, personal, that maturity represents. It's about a depth of character that's been built over time. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If maturity can be such a powerful, unspoken force in attraction, what other psychological factors are quietly shaping our connections every single day? We'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And hey, if you found this breakdown interesting, do us a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching.